Hi all, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you, and I'm going to get right into it. For Michelle, who was talking about the noise on my video, I apologize about that. I've been trying to work it out, but Spirit's been a little difficult, and I figured the trigger was a good challenge for you guys. I had originally gotten a microphone that was the wrong one, so it was picking up all the noise. The noise you hear is just the fan on my computer because it's an older computer. So I got a microphone last year, and it was the wrong one, so I can't use it for this. Then I recently bought a refurbished Mac, which there's nothing wrong with the Mac, but it won't accept my video program, and the color on it is awful. And if I look worse than I look in the mirror in the morning, I'm not using that video. I'm sure you guys understand. So I just put an order in for another direct mic. I'm hoping that it's the right one and it works with my computer and all that kind of stuff. It should. And then maybe you won't hear any more noise, okay? So use those triggers for all they're worth right now while the noise is still there. And again, I apologize. I realize it can be annoying. Some people like it and some people are really annoyed by it. But I totally get it. So thank you, Michelle. Getting right into the read today. It's May 26th. I am sweating. I was just out running. So the 26th is the Page of Wands, and it's an 8. So, and 26 is very karmic actually as well. And speaking of karma, that came up in the read today as well. So we have the Page of Wands, which is a really excited young person. Very inspired, may want to go out on a date, but it's just very physical and full of energy, and the day adding up to 43-7, which is the 3 of Cups. So we have a 7 and 8, and then the 6, the 2 is the love on the inside, motherly love, and the 2 on the outside. 26 is very feminine for an 8, which of course is the infinity, and staying at 0 point and balanced. The 43-7 is the 3 of coming together. It's the 3 of authentically expressing yourself, and the 3 of siblings and just being very social. And of course that third energy, but that way very joyful on the inside, whereas the 4 on the outside is very stable. So a person with a 4 outer personality number and a 3 soul number is going to have trouble because they're seen very differently than how they actually are. But the 4 and the 3 come up to a 7, and that's very important too, because I keep getting the 3.5 to 4.5 out of 7, and that's 3 to 4 of 7. So that was applicable in the read today as well. But the 3 of Cups is about coming together in joy with the Page of Wands, a very young energy today. And it is Sunday, and it's very sunny and beautiful outside. It's a little bit humid. I'm sweating so much, but it feels good, clears out your pores and gets your voice cleared, your lungs open, right? So if you have trouble taking in those deep breaths at times during the day, a good brisk walk or jog is going to do the trick to get that breath really deep into your lungs and up to the top of your lungs. So you might want to visualize that intention of getting the air not just in your lungs, but to the very bottom and the very top, to really expand your lungs and open them up. The air that we breathe. The read was done at 10:34 to 35 today, and 35 came up in as one of the numbers. So that's the Wounded Warrior, the Mary Magdalene energy. It's also the Jesus energy combined, and the 34 of the 8 of Wands, that expression of your passions, of love, arrows of love, and then heated communication. So that can involve fights as well as just a lot of back and forth communication or being physical, busy around the house, that kind of stuff. So the only major arcana for the read today were Ascension and Karma, which is the World, and Judgment. Okay, and Judgment is just about making decisions and being called to action. And announcements comes up a lot for that, for me as well. So the definitely getting with the Ascension and Karma, that karma is done, and being that 26 I told you was a very karmic number, there may be some karmic completion, like really final today. And the numbers and the coding that came up for you guys for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Masculine within the Feminine The cards were spirituality or spiritual career, environment, which is all about being green, compassion, and happy ending. So 4 cards came up along the code line. And then the message and the numbers were all about 33 and 23. And I have to tell you guys, in these reads and reads I've been doing just for myself, for the masculine especially, I was getting like 4 twos, like 3 reads in a row. I was getting them so balanced, 2, 2, 2, 2 for all the suits, and then 3s as well. I was getting triple and quadruple 3s. There's actually a read I got a couple weeks ago where I got 4 8s, like all 4 8s, which was pretty powerful. But the read for today is 33, 10, 3, 27, 5, 33, 23, 22, 23. So again, the 23 comes up. 2 Kings of Wands and 2 Kings of Pentacles came up in the read today. The sequence 5, 6, 7, 8. And you see I'm wearing my 7-8 shirt today, which is the 10 of Pentacles. It's the last card in the deck. The number before the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the 79. And as I told you before, also 10 and 35 came up. So in regards to spiritual career, environment, compassion, and happy ending, the message came up. First, a number 1003 came up. So it could be 100 and 100.3. It can be October 3rd, so that's definitely a date coming up here, as well as, so you know, that could be a radio station easily, but that was coming up. But also to master surrender of the feminine within the masculine, and I was getting of 5 off, like, so there may be a discount there, but I was also getting F off, but it was really about not cursing at the person, but I was getting, what did I get with that? F off. Oh, fending off people. Can be like F off, but fending off was the F coming up for F off. So 5 off or F off is coming up around the Hierophant or Taurus or happy ending, okay, regarding this happy ending. But the high vibe, human empress, mastering surrender, so that's definitely feminine energy, or it could be a mother around the masculine. And then I was getting 7 out of 5, which is actually 1.4, which is 14, which is the angels, the patience. And it's also twice the 7. And 714 came up the other day. So it's 3.5 and then 7 and then 14 coming up, all related to each other. I haven't quite figured out where it's taking me to, but you get the idea. They're very spiritual numbers, because the 7 is 3.5 is like pi, because pi is not 3 or 3.5, it's in between. So it's kind of like rounding it off for you, so you know it's not 3. 3.5 could represent pi. And then it's also 3.5 is half of 7, which is that very spiritual number. And then 14 as well, because it's the angels, the chariot of ascension to the angels. So again, the high vibration human, you are the empress mastering surrender of the angels. Or maybe angels are off, like with the holiday, or being patient. Divine feminine, freedom, and fractal also came up, and then that F off. So just, you know, not caring this weekend because it's the holiday, you know, really keeping your high vibe, surrendering to it, and just letting go all of your burdens. Destiny of the human trinity, the king and the high priestess, or just the psychic abilities of the king, of that third energy of the feminine within the masculine. And I was just getting off around IV and the feminine, right? So the feminine within the masculine is kind of like an IV infusion into the masculine, so it's kind of referencing that. The code TEI also came up in the coding, and I was getting Templeton Emerging Markets, having trouble getting words out of my mouth. That's an income fund, and when I looked it up, it was actually, the price was 10.14, which had just come up. Tax Execs Institute, Text Encoding Initiative, Teacher Education Institute, Treasury Executives Institute, Also, TEI-ATL is the Environmental Institute and Thailand Environmental Institute. And then what was most significant to me was Terminal Endpoint Identifier. And we had just talked about reaching the end with the Moody Blues yesterday. Also, Tennessee Enterprises Inc. came up, and that's a fine oak furniture place. So you may be in the market for some furniture or trying to go more natural and organic. As we started the read, give me 1 second, I forgot to pick up the cards for you guys. Sorry about that. So we start off the read with the underlying energy was Ascension, which is like the world, and then the 10 of crystals was just like this. Okay, and it was just 1039. 10 being the Wheel of Fortune, and 39 is the Knight of Cups. Okay, so we have the world, and then the 10 of Pentacles, which is on my shirt, the 78, right? Which is also completion, 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 and this is definitely about extended family, okay? You know, can be graduations and stuff like that now. It's May and June. So all of that kind of thing coming up. The Ascension, number 100 came as I started to read. And 100 is like the magician embodiment of the two humans, all right? The two human embodiments of source energy and the magician. The Ascension, end, completion of family or dysfunctional family, or in-laws connection, or a big loss of money. So there may be endings in all those respects here. Could just be, like I said, graduations and proms and all that kind of stuff as well. But that they weren't specifically coming up in this read. So the Divine Feminine maybe gives up here, and or the Divine Masculine. So this card here can represent either one of them as the wounded warrior, the victim mentality, but it's reversed, so it's like giving up the wounds. It can represent sometimes just giving up when you shouldn't, but in this respect it's coming up as letting go of the wounds. Can be masculine, feminine, or both. So the victim mentality, letting go, giving up, holding their tongue, as sealed the Divine Feminine, or Divine Feminine sealed and marching to their own tune, is now cradling the Divine Masculine, wounded warrior reversed, giving up and holding back harsh words and or an announcement. So that's the Divine Masculine who could be doing that. But the Divine Feminine's coming up, it's like a buffering or a sheltering of the Divine Masculine, that she is naked and free on both sides of the masculine, and he's learning not to take triggers personally, which, thank you, Michelle, because this feeds right into the read that you brought up, that the sound was a trigger. The Page of Pentacles is an opportunity, or offers the gold coin to the angel Divine Feminine, called to soothe her wings. So you may be having pain in your wings. I'm definitely getting that pain, as well as, what was I thinking? Like high up heart, but more on the right side, and the wings, just really, and a lot of stress in the heart and high heart. A lot of discomfort coming up, not so much on my own, but I was trying to do a meditation, but I was actually listening to somebody else's session, so I didn't know whether I was empathing off of them or if it was my own discomfort. But I'm definitely getting back pain more so than usual, lower back, root stuff, as well as the wings, okay? But it's like the masculine was called to soothe her wings, so sending you gentle energies, his gold coin, and the Empress offering even bigger coin to take away his worries magically. And then I was getting from Jesus like Christ Superstar, try not to get worried, try not to hold on to problems that upset you. Oh, don't you, I started too low. Don't you know everything's all right, everything's fine, and it's cool and the ointment's sweet for the fire in your head and feet. Close your eyes and relax. Think of nothing tonight. Okay, and that was Mary Magdalene singing to Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. So the Divine Masculine is answering her call a little bit at a time, you know, just testing the waters, and or slowing down calls, communication between him and his mother, or a karmic who calls too much. But it's definitely masculine learning to detach more from a mother, maybe, she's too clingy to him. It could be the karmic or the mother, where they call all the time or require him to call this many times a day or whatever, but he's learning to detach from that. It was just 1444. So mastering patience and the angel embodiment of getting your wings. Also, This Empress could also be manipulating him by trying to pay him off in order to return to a situation or family business. Or as we turn the page, I wanted to tell you too that I noticed the number 113 on the side. You know how unfinished furniture may have writing on the bottom of it? Well, there's a side of a piece that I have that's really old, but it's never usually pushed out. So when I pushed it out, I noticed the number written on it, which was 113, so that may be significant to some of you as well. As I turned the page, it was 1152, which is Justice, and the 52 is the Queen of Swords. The underlying signs were Cancer, upright and reversed, Libra reversed, Taurus reversed, Pisces upright, Gemini upright, Virgo reversed, Scorpio reversed, and Aquarius reversed. A lot of reversed energy there. But as we go on, it wasn't quite 1152 yet because I haven't done this page. So I was talking about this Empress manipulating him, trying to pay him off or to get him to return, right? So it could just be someone being pushy about getting them to come back home or back to a business, or just to do something they want them to do. In equal trade, perhaps, the Empress offers money and he offers an opportunity to judgment or finalize, or allowing now a decision or a divorce that possibly he refused before, or answers a call to action to receive or pay off a loan. Or an opportunity for the Divine Masculine or a child to get their wings, or an opportunity for the Divine Masculine to manifest abundance and heed the call. But wings or freedom from Magician and Empress, so maybe an opportunity for the Masculine to free himself from them, or a sovereign Divine Feminine or inspired Divine Masculine decide to commit, or children of God or religious children or children of a Taurus bow down to kiss his feet, maybe trying to manipulate Father to get them their own car, or children, DNA of the Father, or giving away the kids to the church. So there may be a few people where their church will take their children to raise them, right? Or kids just promising to behave or do as their father or religious leader or Taurus person asks them to do. So there could be a mother-son relationship here, father and kids, as well as karmic I was getting was kind of out of the picture here. One in this situation may be reptilian, and rupees, and rubles were coming up as one may be reptilian, one child, and one higher order or twin. So, and lots of twins may see this in their children, and it's not to say something negative, it's just reptilian's more of a human, and not as high energy as a possible twin child as far as spirituality or ascension. So religious ownership was coming up here, a very long line of reptilian conquering, domination, and ownership, and sovereign females now getting out of it. 3-to-1 seesaw. Divine Masculine may feel small if Divine Feminine has more money in a marriage or a commitment. And then I was getting rolling down the river. I was getting that. And then slave labor was coming up for me down the river in the south specifically. It is not a race to the finish line. It's about connection and key codes to raise your vibration, to bring more feminine energy into everyone, to correct the prior masculine imbalances. And that was at 11:33. Justice and the Christ vibration, which is also the 7 of Wands, which is today, and or was yesterday, but the 7 of Wands has been coming up very significantly as the 33, standing up for yourself without being defensive or reacting, okay? So completing an old cycle, coming full circle to human embodiment of pure source energy. The King of Swords reversed may be out watching, feeling abandoned, injured, another face in the crowd, but together connected, abandonment bond without option, since connected at an etheric level. So there could be two references here. It was the masculine, which my son's Matthew, I guess that was coming out of my mouth, but he definitely can represent some masculines. But I was getting the masculine point of view with a bond that happened. So it was either the bond that happened with him and his karmic because of feeling abandoned together, or that he's feeling that with his twin now, of both feeling abandoned but together, that etheric connection, that bond that he cannot cut. And then hand fasting came up, which is a Celtic thing, 7,000 years ago BC. In ancient Ireland, they would use a ribbon or cord around the hands and holding hands. And it basically was a 1 year or so engagement where you could live together and behave like man and wife, but it was, like a testing period, testing the waters to see if you would then marry at the end of the 1 year. It was like taking her off the market, and the market came up in the headers today, so it came up for a reason there. So it was to take her off the market, but make sure at the same time that they're suited for marriage and not just jump into marriage right away. Out in the cold, away from church, a hand fasting, possibly without option here. There is no choice, the only choice under God in nature. To marry with only children present, or a shotgun wedding for a kid perhaps. Trust came up, which is all about faith, and finances and career were below that. So masculines may be stressing out a lot about their finances and trying to get balanced. It was just 21, 21, and 22, which again is marking completion, and the 22 of that taking a leap into that new life. Sovereigns in fantasy reunion. So there's definitely reunions here. So there's definitely some twins coming together. It may not be the final coming together, but it's the testing the waters and the process of coming together. So that is definitely here. I turn the pages 1152 of that Queen of Swords now coming up with justice. As bulls go their separate ways. Maybe somebody's balls are going their separate ways as well, swinging high and swinging low. And then I was getting, like you would say iPad, I was getting I split, like a quickie divorce, with red flag above hidden from their views, because there's two bulls here, as not to instigate or cause a ruckus. Back to their blue dressing rooms, as a single person obsessed with synchronicities makes a bold move to cut human-made chains, so a divorce type thing of just 2222 of cutting the chains, constructs, and to just so human-made chains and constructs, and to just co-create and be loved. So this is the masculine perspective. Divine feminine's heart in a bold move to the King of Cups, or vice versa. Divine masculine is tired possibly of only 5D and coming to test the waters physically, armed with his tool and 39 lashes. No more sticking it to the man. Right ring finger gently touching the dip in her back, her wings, and stroking her hair. Love conquering all, fleur-de-lis and 50 shades, the light and the dark, the spectrum in between, food on the floor, and dessert if they want to. Financial decisions, financial discipline came up, which is number 48, which is the walking away and within of the 8 of Cups. And underneath that was individuality of 11, again justice. So being the individual, but you also have to be financially disciplined about it, right? A slow down of Jupiter perhaps, as the Queen of Pentacles meets Cancer and says, what the F? Like the Cancer's like kind of snotty going, what the F? With the Queen of Pentacles. It was pretty funny actually. But the Queen of Pentacles is upright. And the King of Pentacles is upright too. The Cancer's upright, but the King of Swords is reversed. As the King of Swords reversed, with financial issues at work, not getting along or leaving, but feeling bad with nothing to offer, perhaps a Cancer person or a Queen of Pentacles, or both, or the Cancer female is the King of Pentacles, or the, or the Cancer, it could be a Cancer female who's becoming the King of Pentacles, or it could be the Cancer male is the King of Pentacles, or it could be a feminine, male kind of person who's the boss at work or something like that. But it could be a male Cancer wearing, oh, it is, I was talking about the female. Could be Cancer female is the king, the knight, I cannot talk, is the King of Pentacles wearing financial pants in the family or marriage. Or Cancer, King of Pentacles, approaches the Queen of Pentacles about money gone and saying, what the F? Or the King and Queen of Pentacles are one couple, they're both upright, And Cancer and King of Swords reversed, Libra, are another couple. But the King of Swords is reversed. He's the only one reversed there. Another broken couple. The King of Pentacles aligned with the Cancer female, and the Queen of Pentacles siding with the King of Swords reversed. So possibly karmic's parents, and the karmic is pissed or irritated because her mother is siding with the Divine Masculine, who is struggling financially. Divine Masculine could be without money for child support, and her mother or a sister, or his mother or sister, is backing him up, and she's pissed about that, while her father or his father, who always aligns with her, the karmic, with her tough love mentality, is no longer offering their financial support to her. So she's pissed about that too. That stream for her has run dry. It's like that father or whoever who is giving her money, he no longer approves of her spending money like water and is not responsible. Oh, she's not behaving responsibly with her money. Or Cancer karmic is pissed that father and daughter, so it could be Divine Masculine and his daughter, or it could be the Divine Masculine's father and his sister. So there's a lot of different scenarios here. So I'm going to read that sentence again. Or Cancer karmic is pissed that father and daughter, or Divine Masculine's father and Divine Masculine's sister, are so alike that the sister or daughter now may be snubbing the karmic because father is not speaking, or feels she is intellectually destitute, the karmic, and caused his loss of income at work or to the business. So everyone may be irritated with the Cancer, but she's upright. She feels like she's justified in whatever she does. Or mother must sacrifice her play money for daughter to go to college, gold and platinum down, and so gold and platinum prices may be down, or the King of Pentacles is all fired up and must sell some of his equipment. A lathe and a kiln both came up. And that was at 12:17, okay? So that we have the Hangman and Wisdom and the 17 of the Star. So someone may be needing to sell some stuff just because they're having a downturn financially for the business or the family, something like that. But that, obviously there can be big arguments about whose stuff to sell. As I turned the page, it was 12:19. 19 is the masculine sun, and the 12 of the wisdom, and seeing new perspectives on things, or just hanging out. Or the masculine may be feeling like, or this King of Pentacles may be feeling like chaining down the equipment due to theft, canceling car privileges. A green car or emerald jewelry came up, or green silks may have to go, or all must go in a move, or if they want to go to school or travel or buy a new car. So someone is being called to sacrifice something. Clamping down on spending of family members. Someone may also be dancing in a box, like at a bar or strip club, or threatening to do so if they don't get some money from their partner. Glass box with jewels and wishes. Jewelry must go. Arguing about whose stuff gets sold. The King of Pentacles without options in a marriage or Taurus, but to end things with their entire family or his family is just done and come full circle. So he may be without options in a marriage or about to end a marriage or dealing with a Taurus, but to end things whichever way with their entire family or the karmic's entire family. They're just done, they've come full circle, and have closed this cycle. Done deal. To have faith and love, unconditional love, and financial discipline. It's like the masculine is looking toward this new way of living. He knows now that if he stays in the situation that he could possibly lose everything because of the way other people are. So there could be several different situations. It could even be that he has multiple family members living with them. Could be the karmic's family too, right? So maybe they're all kind of expecting him to pay for everything, and he's now getting tired, and it's a lot for him. And they don't care about his health. They just keep relying on him to take care of everything. So there's lots of different situations that come up there. But recently is the King of Swords, all right? So I was definitely getting the King of Swords as the masculine. It doesn't have to be, but for me it was coming in mostly as the King of Swords. There's a lot of different scenarios here. There are could be potentially 2 Kings of Pentacles, all right? They could actually be twins. They could be twin divine masculines, or they could be twins of a brother or father or friend that's involved here. Or they could just be people like twins, like brothers like twins, or a father and son who are like twins, you know, that kind of thing. But there's 2 King of Pentacles with different signs coming up, which I'll get into that as well. There's also King of Wands. Queen of Wands was not at play in this at all. Queen of Cups, not really. She's there at the end, but she wasn't much in the read at all either. It was more about the King and Queen of Pentacles, who were upright in the underlying energy. And then more so during the read is very much about the King of Swords. And the King of Swords and King of Cups are both in there, with the Page of Cups as the card after the read. So the Page of Cups was there too. And they're both, the King of Swords and the King of Cups are both reversed. Alright, so these masculines weren't in their most positive energy. Only the King and Queen of Pentacles, all the Pentacles were upright. The King, the Queen, the Knight, and the Page. That was the only suit that was all upright. The King of Wands is upright, but not all the Wands upright, so the others were all mixed, and I'll get into that in a minute. So recently, that King of Swords reversed, maybe pissed or just at home, dealing with verbal abuse, or maybe he's being a little verbally abusive, or always feeling like he has to yell at everyone else because they're taking advantage of him or spending too much money or whatever it is, and he gets to be the heavy all the time, so he's getting that. But burdens, where everyone's in heated exchanges about the King of Pentacles, always juggling finances in order to stay afloat, and that doesn't have to be him. It could be, but it could be a father or brother or a partner as well. But the King of Pentacles, always juggling finances to stay afloat, so they may be robbing Peter to pay Paul, that kind of situation. And family spending too much and don't care about him, without success and attention. In divorce, dumping emotional attachments, feeling like a failure, without that success and attention, losing family money or losing their status, or just dealing with dysfunctional family members who may be bringing out the worst in him. The foundation here is the 6 of Orbs, which is like the 6 of Swords, all right? But there's no peace here, with clinginess and over-isolating coming out, with chaos and blocks of deception and hiding things. There's no trust in this marriage or contract. Essentially, the masculine's walking away and within. Very clear about jealousy or insincerity issues, pain and betrayal of the past and or childhood. He must walk away from that Queen of Swords. He must walk away from that, the past or the childhood and the betrayals and all that stuff. And then referencing the Queen of Swords, talking about that stuff to help him surrender. So referencing to the feminine. Sweet judgment of the divine feminine union as he opens his crown, his lotus, more fully, now understanding what it is to have energy vampires around him, the dark stealing energy from angels, and the challenge being the surrender, which is also the juggling, because it's the 2 of Crystals or 2 of Pentacles. But you see here very specifically in this deck, it's all about surrender. When you're doing too much, you're juggling too much. The challenge being surrender of or to the magician embodiment and emotional fulfillment as or to the Queen of Swords prisoner and her knowing, grounding and integrating their co-creation together, the choice of path that they need to go on. But now crowning is the karmic split. There may be a final decision of the King of Pentacles to pull Excalibur and cut the fat out of his life in the aftermath of grief and depression. Grief? Is grief the word? Grief and depression. Grief. I don't know if Greek is trying to come up. But he's upright, but he's ready to cut the crap out of everything that no longer serves him. So right here, in the underlying energy and coming into this position here, we're 2 different King of Pentacles. There could be one King of Pentacles who's Aquarius, Cancer, and also could be the King of Cups reverse, Cancer, Father, Leo. Could all be that King of Pentacles. And then there's another King of Swords, which I believe is the Emperor. Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, Capricorn, Virgo. And then the Empress, who's also reversed, I believe that the Emperor is King of Swords because they were the only ones reversed. The King of Pentacles was not reversed, but the Emperor was. But they were also next to each other as well. But the Empress is coming up as a bunch of different signs, but this also can reference the kids involved. For the Empress, Leo, Pisces, Aquarius, Taurus, Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Scorpio, Cancer, and Sag, but that includes the children. Also, a Libra, Capricorn, which can be the masculine, can feel very stuck, reversed, like sandwiched in between an Aquarius and Leo who are both upright, but they're not necessarily nice people, but they feel very justified in the way they behave. And they may be very loud and boisterous, whereas he's more quiet and likes to keep the peace. But because of that, they're always overwhelming him and getting their way. Okay? So, like father, like son at 1244, mastering wisdom and hanging out until it's time. Like father, like son, so this could be those two kings of pentacles, magnetizing coin, Emperor reversed, lacking faith of a new life and falling on his face, out of control, which could just be ego death, no freedom or money, with the King of Pentacles separating himself from the family. So the Emperor, or the masculine, could be upset because this King of Pentacles is like cutting everybody off, because maybe he's struggling too in business, or maybe he's planning on retiring, so now he's like cutting everyone off from any more infusions to the business or loans or that kind of thing to the family. The Empress reversed finds peace in moving away to start over in love, or just giving up on love, no longer bored, grounding and integrating, feeling drained, or possibly with an illness, or starting over with draining kids and not using their intuition, or not using intuition, or now that a secret is out about the keys to controlling the angel and devil within, so the shadow and the light, so balancing. So some of the karmics, that could be a feminine, but it also can be a karmic who's now, up on all the stuff that's going on about ascension and learning how to become centered and ground and integrate. So kids may be drinking and sleeping all day to ground and integrate freedom from work, church, school, or home, the avoid dance of choosing a path knowing there's only one option. All right, so, or feeling like there's no options. The Emperor with back turned, facing home and business, or union, or co-creation. So the Emperor's back is turned to all of the stuff that I was just talking about, and he's focused on home and business, or union and creation, co-creation. The King of Pentacles could be Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Aries, or like I said, or the one is the Aquarius, Cancer, and then the Emperor reversed, which is the masculine, is Scorpio, Taurus, Libra, King of Swords reversed, and the Empress reversed, Pisces, Leo, Capricorn, Sag, Aquarius. This is where that 47 was coming up, or that 3.5 out of 7. And fending off, the F off. Soon for the masculine is that 7 of Wands coming up, like I said earlier, that 30, this is the 33. And this is very different than the usual deck. That's very much, could be like rising from the ashes in this deck, but rising up, the heat helping to raise the balloon, but rising above in situations, rising up to dance, to do the dance and to tango. The 7 of Wands, standing up for self, standing their ground, fending off others, F off, to implement, dropping burdens, no more hard work, and the chain gang was coming up here, in order now to be inspired, speaking a little bit of truth about their unhappiness, the masculine, dissatisfaction with family and being on his own, frustrated purging the truth of his unhappiness, and being in knowing and very clear about the Queen of Swords and the release of her or himself from prison and anxiety. Time to be happy with himself. Step 3.5 to 4 out of that 7, marking his territory. In other words, putting boundaries up. He is 3 of Flames. Again, he was this in his position yesterday, the day before. So he's seeing himself as a 3 of Flames, but present to only 1 flame. So only the top flame was showing, all right? Because there were clarification cards here. His focus is on 1 flame. I'm going to show you the whole card there. Okay? 3 to 1 again comes up here. At home, with a secret out, or those refusing to see and being ignorant, all right? So they could know, but they choose not to see it. The King of Wands with the swords, King of Wands he sees himself as this. And this King of Wands may be an aspect of him on this, or maybe someone separate from him. But the King of Wands is coming up as looking toward the past. He's upright, but he's got swords. He's got the Five of Swords guy behind him in tow. Facing frustrations and a need for an opportunity to get things off the ground, or a difficult child, or maybe he's being seen as the difficult child, not doing their homework, not getting it, or frustrated. And will that be him if he allows himself to be the student again? So it could be a child, or it could be literally him looking at himself, or it could be the King of Wands, someone else expecting this of him. It could be his father, that Leo, Cancer, Aquarius person, okay? So pay attention to the red flags came up for the masculine, as well as this could be the one, as well as reconciliation. It was right next to a Three of Cups from the Tarot of Sexual Magic. So there's definitely a coming together here. Around the Divine Masculine, or how he is seen, is the King of Cups, but he's also reversed in this read. All right, the Master of Chalices. So around the Divine Masculine, how he's seen is this King of Cups, which could also just be unconditional love, but he was reversed, so it's really not giving us that energy. It was just 41, 21. And 41 is the Ace of Cups, and 21 is that world again of completion. In love, starting over, love, spiritual love, self-love, new love. But it also could just be a Cancer male who's reversed. I wasn't really getting this King of Cups as the masculine here. Running from conflict, but it can be as well. Could be like an aspect of the masculine, but I was really getting it more as a separate person. Running from conflict or fight or complete or competition, or stealing while everyone else is fighting or playing around at work. So I was seeing this King of Cups, which could be a Cancer or Scorpio, most likely, not a Pisces. There was a Page of Cups who's definitely coming up as Pisces energy, but this King of Cups was more Scorpio or Cancer. But it's like they are running away when everyone else is fighting, or they're literally stealing at work while everyone else is busy playing, like not focused on work, or fighting at work. He's like stealing and just getting away with it. Or getting along, or not getting along with other people at work, or leaving, or tired, or someone's leaving for retirement, or to final resting place, leaving the game. Clear blocks for the masculine of conflict and competition. So the Five of Wands, or Five of Flames, came up for the masculine as his challenge to clear, the blocks he needs to clear. Feeling trapped between that Leo and Aquarius. They were both upright, and Libra, Capricorn were coming up as reverse, trapped in between them. You know, don't fence me in, which was coming up this week. A slow detox for him while surrounded by this Leo and or egos, and then the Aquarius and or the stars, the ones who just want to be seen. Someone could have just gotten out of prison as well, in debt, or off-balance person who has no worries and never takes any responsibilities. So that could really piss off the Divine Masculine. And as we turn the page, it's 124. 24 is the Queen of Wands, which really wasn't present in the read, although when I looked back in the deck, she was upright. The one is the Magician. So that could be the energy, the masculine energy. Could be the Queen of Wands, coming up as the person who just got out of prison, or just out of their head prison, with no worries and no responsibilities. Like, you know, they just kind of float around work doing whatever and let everyone else take up the responsibilities. But that's the energy coming up here. Masculine is definitely coming up as a Sagittarius and Capricorn energies, as well as the Emperor reversed in Libra. Excuse me, I have a hair in my mouth. And Leo always roaring and won't shut up. And the Aquarius acts like they're totally free of responsibilities. And this could be the same person as well. Spiritual career and environment came up for the masculine, and happy ending and compassion, but even more so change. So it's changing, okay? Working with Queen of Cups, who could just be somebody at work, but now we have a Queen of Cups and a King of Cups at work. Working with the Queen of Cups at work, who may be forcing him to look at her chest. So I was getting this person who walks around. It could be the karmic, it could just be an employee who's just walking around with low cleavage and stuff like that. It could be an employee who's trying to get him to notice her, or it could be the karmic who they're split up from, and she's trying to get him back by like tempting him with sex. But maybe working only with karmic, and she is showing cleavage to tempt him, or an employee who dresses inappropriately, a workplace reversed, so it could just be negative energies within the people there, or just really struggling financially. The Emperor's home, destined, so he's feeling like this is his home, destined to move and free self and take a leap away from the King of Wands. The King of Wands could be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and the Emperor Libra definitely, or surrounded by Libras, the Emperor, and Cancer at home, Aries at work, and Queen of Cups being all business. Juggling, performing at work, in judgment, and these are the final cards of the read, okay? And this is the card after the read is that Page of Cups, or Page of Chalices, but we have the Three of Crystals here, or Trinity, as the workplace, okay? It doesn't have to be work, it can be school, it can be church, it can be a place of creation, school, whatever it is. Juggling or performing at this place of co-creation, in judgment, or a call to action, or announcement, or Aquarius with new love or new child, or ready to retire and be a kid again, or Aquarius at work acts like a spoiled brat, the King of Cups reversed, always claiming injustices, or the King of Cups reversed is emotionally detached child, or detached from children at work. So somebody may be working with their children but have to behave differently because they're at work. Or King of Cups reversed is the Libra Emperor and has to deal with a child, new love, or love child at work, could be hippie-like, karmic, or doesn't focus on work, shirt unbuttoned too low and manipulative, or someone is flirting with him and karmic is pissed he doesn't stand up for her to others at work. Page of Cups not working in separation, letting go of things to fix them up. Page of Cups message of love or friend may be purging later at home as Knight of Wands rushes in. Father and child at work not working, or karmic detached due to divine masculine love with the Queen of Cups, which can be at work or someone from or through work. The Page of Cups could also represent both twins not working in separation and letting go, willing to offer a little bit of love at a time in order to purge and ready themselves for physical connection. Or the Page of Cups is stressed and purging, although the Page of Cups is upright, like they're being very loving and then going home and purging, stressed, crying. So whoever they're dealing with at work is really stressing them out. Or they just need to go running or exercise more and be more physical to let those stresses out. End of family and marriage or contract, business or religion, for peace in the moment for the masculine, unconditional love of the King of Swords walking away and or within to stand up to others and conflict without giving in. And it was 157 here of the Three Swords and the one of the Magician. So realizing you have to, maybe it's going to be uncomfortable for a little bit going through a separation, but it's necessary for ultimate happiness. Final decisions, judgments, and a call to action at work, opening heart or feeling rejected by a child and or children, ending with family or family cycle, contract, or an achievement is complete now at work. King of Swords and King of Pentacles without peace and walking away, challenged by juggling and possibly surrender, a plea for help. And now endings are final. Hearing the wake-up call to open his crown, be present in the moment to his flame, and stand up for himself at work. King of Cups reversed may be causing conflict and fighting at work with a child, or due to a new love, a child, or new work project that is his new baby, not working or overworking and unable to focus, in heartache and or separation, letting go, paying out to fix things up or upgrade. Page of Cups, stressed or purging, suffering, as the Knight of Wands, older brother, may be on the move. Okay, so the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups could be siblings, and that could represent the masculine and his brother sibling as well, so that King of Wands could be his brother or partner, that kind of thing, or friend. But I'm telling you, the Empress and the Emperor both reversed. King and Queen of Cups were both reversed. King and Queen of Pentacles were both upright. King of Swords reversed. Queen of Swords upright. But like I said, Queen of Wands was not present, but the King and Queen of Wands were upright as well. Knight of Wands upright. Knight of Cups reversed. Knight of Swords reversed. Knight of Pentacles upright, but not really present. The Pages, Cups, Wands, and Swords were all upright. The only page that was reversed was the Page of Pentacles. Okay? And also I was getting very heavy energy about that twin thing, which doesn't usually come up for me, but it came up for me. I don't think I said it, but it might have come up in something else I did yesterday or the day before, but twins, it's not the first time this week. So twin brothers came up, and they could be twin divine masculines, and they may be playing people as well. Or brothers who are very similar, or like I said, it could be partners or a father-son relationship where they're very similar, or like father-like-son type of thing. Okay? So a lot of people and players again, as usual in the masculine's life, and then here is the basic read here. Okay, and then we have the full read here with all the clarifiers. Let's see if I can come up a little closer so you can see a little better. Okay. Oh, there was something that dropped out when I shuffle. Let me show you that too. Okay, these dropped out in the shuffle. And that 5 of crystals could be self-imposed isolation, so it doesn't have to be a negative thing. And the 4 of crystals in this deck for me is the Divine Masculine's heart, so it's very warm. And actually could be starting to shine his light a bit, coming out of all this crap. Alright, it's just 51-51. That's for the masculine. That was the confirming that the King of Swords. It was just 51-51. Rise and be love.